What's up guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you all my victim builds I've been using after the skill tree rework update, so let's jump right into it. For the first build, I'm going to show you my Connie build, and I do believe that Connie is the most crucial victim in the game because of how good her ability is. Her ability allows you to immediately open up the map for the victims, and that puts a lot of pressure on the family side. So for the ability tree, I have quicker recharge rate for the first two levels, and no stamina cost for the third level. For the three perks, I'm using Bomb Squad, Efficient Locksmith, and Extra Drip. And I'm going to go over these three perks and tell you why I use them. So for Bomb Squad, you're going to notice that I use Bomb Squad for majority of my builds because of how good it is. And I do believe that Bomb Squad is the most crucial perk in the game because of how many trappers there are. If you guys already know, most of you guys will know, there are 3 trappers in the game. You have Hans, who has 3 traps, you have Hitchhiker, who has 3 traps, and you have Nancy, who has 3 traps as well. And keep in mind that Nancy can also get many more traps with pins and needles. So this perk will definitely come clutch because there's a lot of trappers in the game. And I know a lot of people want the charges to be increased because there are 4 charges for Bomb Squad. But from my experience, the 4 charges are really good from my experience. So that's why I use Bomb Squad, and I would 100% recommend using this perk after this recent update because of the amount of trappers there are in the game. And for the second perk, I'm using Efficient Locksmith. There is a 40% chance that this perk will work. The 40% chance will, keep your tool. You have a 40% chance of keeping your tool and it won't be consumed. And let me tell you guys something. This perk comes clutch once it activates. Because when it does activate, you don't have to go to a toolbox and grab another tool. You can just go straight for the next door or the next gate. That's why I use this perk, because of how good it is once it activates. And for the third perk, I'm using Extra Drip. This perk used to give you more health from each health item, but they did nerf it. And I still think this perk is solid. The main reason why I use Extra Drip is so that I don't waste heals. I don't want to waste heals for my team. I want my teams to use the heals as well. So that's why I use Extra Drip. From my experience, depending on what your health is, you need 1 or 2 health bottles to get full HP with Extra Drip. So that's why I use it. And for the attributes, let me tell you guys something real quick. For majority of my builds, I do like increasing my toughness and my proficiency for the attributes. So let's just go over it with Connie. I do have 40 toughness, 30 endurance, 15 strength, 40 proficiency, and 30 stealth. So let me just go over the attributes here real quick because this will help you guys understand what I upgrade for my other builds. So for toughness, I usually like having 40 toughness a minimum for my builds. And for endurance, 30 endurance is my sweet spot. I know a lot of people like using 26 endurance, 30 endurance, or 35 endurance. But for me personally, 30 endurance is the sweet spot for me. And for proficiency is like, I would say it's not tricky, but for me personally, I think 35 is the sweet spot for me. Not 35 exactly, but 35 minimum is the sweet spot for me. 35 minimum for the proficiency. So that's why I have 40 toughness, 30 endurance, 15 strength, 40 proficiency, and 30 stealth for Connie. And this is the skill tree if you guys want to give this build a shot. For the second build, I'm going to be showing you my Leland build. So for the ability tree, I have increased stun duration for level 1, restore stamina for level 2, and quicker recharge for level 3. For the 3 perks, I'm using Jumpstart, Extra Drip, and Grappler. And this build is really good because Extra Drip and Jumpstart wasn't on Leland's skill tree before. But after the skill tree rework, they gave Jumpstart and Extra Drip to Leland on the same side of the skill tree. So he definitely got some perks, some good perks added to his skill tree. Obviously, some perks got removed from his skill tree, but this build I'm about to show you is one hell of a build. So for the first perk, I'm using Jumpstart, and as you can see, stamina consumption on dashing is reduced by 50%. And I use this perk because it makes you be able to run for a longer period of time. And for the second perk, I'm using Extra Drip. Like I said before, this perk is really good because of the amount of health you can get from it. And for the third perk, I'm using Grappler. And the main reason why I use Grappler is because you win majority of your close counters. And this perk right here, Grappler, counters Suffocating Grip. That's the main reason why I use this perk. It counters suffocating grip. A lot of family teams like using suffocating grip, so that's why I use grappler on Leland. And for the attributes, I have 40 toughness, 30 endurance, 40 strength, 35 proficiency, and 10 stealth. And this is the skill tree for this build. For the third build, I'm going to show you my Ana build. So for the ability tree, I'm using quicker recharge rate, stamina hit recovery, and reduced damage. For the 3 perks, I'm using Bomb Squad, Extra Drip, and Slippery. And I'm using Bomb Squad because, like I said before, it's the most crucial perk in the game, in my opinion. I'm using Extra Drip because of the amount of health you can get from it. And I'm using Slippery. And as you can see, after navigating gaps or crawl spaces, you move 15% faster for 7 seconds. And I use this perk mainly for chases. When you use Slippery, you avoid a lot of hits with Slippery because you move faster after going through gaps or crawl spaces. And that's why I like using this perk, because it helps with chases. And for the attributes, I have 40 toughness, 30 endurance, 30 strength, 43 proficiency, and 20 stealth. And this is the skill tree for this build. For the fourth build, I'm going to show you my Sonny build. And Sonny got one hell of a buff with this skill tree rework. So for the ability tree, I have increased range for level 1, shorter cooldown for level 2, and all-knowing for level 3. For the 3 perks, I'm using highly skilled, fast hands, and extra drip. And you can also get a no-cell build with Sonny, but you have to go to the right side of the skill tree. I've used both builds, and I compared both builds, and I must say, I do believe the fast hands build has a slight edge over the no-cell build. I definitely have more success with this build. This build comes clutch for me. So the reason why I'm using highly skilled is just to increase the proficiency. Fast hands, I'm using fast hands because you can get a lot. You can open up doors or gates in front of the killer's face. That's why I use this perk, because it does come clutch. This perk, let me tell you right now, this perk has saved my life multiple times. That's why I like this build better than the no-cell build. And for the third perk, I'm using extra drip because it gives me more health from the health bottles. For the attributes, I'm using 40 toughness, 35 endurance, 35 strength, 39 proficiency, and 15 stealth. And this is the skill tree for this build. For the fifth build, I'm going to show you my Julie build, and I do believe that Julie is the most underrated victim in the game. So for my ability tree, I have quicker recharge rates for level 1, decreased sprint stamina for level 2, and increased duration for level 3. I know a lot of people like going with decreased sprint stamina for level 3, but let me tell you guys something. With the increased duration, your ability lasts for 20 seconds. This ability, like level 3 ability, increased duration, comes so clutch, especially in chases. Trust me, it's really good. Give it a shot. Trust me, guys. Give this increased duration a shot if you guys haven't used it already for her level 3 ability. It's really good. And for the 3 perks, I'm using Bomb Squad, No Cell, and Slippery. I'm using Bomb Squad because, like I said, most crucial perk in my opinion. I'm using Slippery because it does help with chases. And No Cell, I'm using No Cell because this perk saves my life multiple times. I like using this perk because of how good it is. There are times when you're in the basement where a Leatherface outplays you and catches you off guard, and this perk saves you. If Leatherface catches you off guard in basement and you don't have No Cell, you're most likely dead. You're going to die in 2 swings, most likely. 2 swings. 1 overhead and a regular swing. But with No Cell, if Leatherface catches you off guard and overheads you and hits you with a normal swing, 2 charges are gone. You have 1 charge left. That's why I like using this perk, because it literally saves your life. And for the attributes, I have 40 toughness, 30 endurance, 15 strength, 39 proficiency, and 35 stealth. And this is the skill tree for this build. For the 6th build, I'm going to show you my Danny build. So for the ability tree, I have Tamper Minigame Easier for level 1, Knowledge Gathered increased for level 2, and Instant Study for level 3. For the 3 perks, I'm using Bomb Squad, Taekwondo, and Stunt Double. I'm using Bomb Squad because it's the most crucial perk in the game. And for the second perk, I'm using Taekwondo. And as you guys can see, slamming doors on family members will stun the target for 8 seconds. This perk is really good because, for an example, if you're near a fuse box and you door slam a family member, you can open up that fuse box and do the math while they're stunned. That's how good this perk is. And I also use this perk Taekwondo because if I get a door slam on a family member, it gives me time to run away because of how long they're stunned. And for the third perk, I'm using Stunt Double. Stunt Double is one of the best perks in my opinion. You receive less damage when jumping out of windows or climbing down wells, and get back on your feet faster after doing so. Damage received is 70% less. I use this perk because obviously there are maps out there with windows, but I think a lot of people forget about the wells. You take less damage when dropping down wells as well, and this perk has saved me multiple times from being incapped. I would 100% use this perk. Stunt Double is one of the best perks in the game, hands down. One of the best perks. And for the attributes, I have 50 toughness, 30 endurance, 15 strength, 40 proficiency, and 25 stealth. And this is the skill tree for this build. For the 7th build, I'm going to show you my Virginia build, and I do believe that Virginia is one of the best victims in the game. I do have a lot of fun playing as her. So for the ability tree, I have reduce ability cooldown for level 1, increase powder cloud duration for level 2, and powder cloud heals victims for level 3. And the healing cloud comes clutch because you don't need to use health bottles. If you're injured, or even if your teammates are injured, you can all heal in the powder cloud. And keep in mind that the healing cloud counters venom. I repeat, the healing cloud counters venom. That's how good it is. And for the 3 perks, I'm using highly skilled, tougher stuff, and what doesn't kill you. I'm using highly skilled to increase my proficiency, I'm using tougher stuff to increase my toughness, and I'm using what doesn't kill you for the 3rd perk. What doesn't kill you was a perk I actually underrated back then. And after using it, I'm starting to like this perk. It's actually starting to grow on me. I'm getting a lot of value from this perk. And as you guys can see in the description, after being injured by a melee attack, avoiding additional damage for 15 seconds will reward you with 100% of the health you just lost. And this perk is really good because, for an example, if Leatherface overheads you and you avoid additional damage for 15 seconds, you get max HP. You don't need to use a healing bottle to heal because what doesn't kill you gave you all your health back. That's why I like using this perk. And for the attributes, I have 50 toughness, 36 endurance, 15 strength, 50 proficiency, and 18 stealth. And this is another why I like Virginia, because look at these attributes. You have high endurance, and you have 50 toughness and 50 proficiency. This is why I think she's one of the best victims in the game. Her attributes are really solid with this build, and that's why I have a lot of fun playing as her. And this is the skill tree for this build. For the 8th and final build, I'm going to show you my Maria build. So for the ability tree, I have reduce ability cooldown for level 1, decrease sweet talk duration for level 2, and additional grandpa sonar for level 3. For the 3 perks, I'm using Bomb Squad, No Cell, and Pep Talk. I'm using Bomb Squad because it's crucial, and I'm using No Cell because, like I said before, you don't want to get caught off guard by Leatherface, because if you do, he'll kill you in 2 shots, 2 swings, or 3 swings. But let me tell you something about Maria. The main reason why I do use No Cell, though, is because you're taking high risk by sweet talking Grandpa. And there's been times where when I sweet talk Grandpa, the family members jump me and No Cell comes to the rescue because you take barely any damage with No Cell. So that's why I would recommend No Cell on Maria, because if you sweet talk Grandpa and let's say a family member catches you off guard, at least No Cell is there and it will help you live. And for the 3rd perk, I'm using Pep Talk, and this is a really good perk for Maria. Sweet Talking Grandpa heals you by 20% of your maximum HP. This perk is really good because let's say there's no health bottles anywhere in the basement or upstairs. You go to Grandpa, you sweet talk him, you get some health back. And this is also a really good perk because when you go near Grandpa with Maria, he won't highlight you. So this perk fits perfectly for Maria. And for the attributes, I have 40 toughness, 30 endurance, 30 strength, 38 proficiency, and 20 stealth. And this is the skill tree for this build. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those were my victim builds I've been using after the skill tree rework update. And let me know in the comments, what builds have you guys been using? And what do you think about my builds? There's so many builds you can make for each character, and that's what I like about the skill tree rework. It's something new and it makes players try different builds. And let me know what you guys think about the skill tree rework update. I personally think it was a good change. But other than that, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day, guys. See you in the next one.